'Twas the night before Yuletide, a poem by C.C. Williford. 'Twas the night before Yuletide, and all through the glen not a creature was stirring, not a fox, not a hen. A mantle of snow shone brightly that night as it lay on the ground, reflecting moonlight. The fairies were nestled all snug in their trees, unmindful of flurries and a chilly north breeze. The owls and the gnomes were down in their burrows, sleeping like babes in their soft earthen furrows, when lo, the earth moved with a thunderous quake, causing chairs to fall over and dishes to break. The little folks scrambled to get to their feet, then raced to the river where they usually meet. What happened? They wondered, they questioned, they probed, as they shivered in night clothes, some bare-armed and some robed. What caused the earth to shudder? What caused her to shiver? They all spoke at once as they stood by the river. Then what to their eyes should appear but a shining golden light in the shape of a sphere. It blinked and it twinkled, it winked like an eye, then it flew straight up and was lost in the sky. But before they could murmur, before they could bustle, there emerged from the crowd with a swish and a rustle a stately old crone with a hand on a cane, resplendent in green, with a flowing white mane. As she passed by them, the old crone's perfume smelled of meadows and flowers abloom, made each of the fey folk think of the spring, when the earth wakes from slumber and the birds start to sing. My name is Gaia, the old crone proclaimed, in a voice that was at once both wild and tamed. I've come to remind you, for you seem to forget, that Yule is the time of rebirth, and yet I see no hearth fires, hear no music or bells, and the air isn't filled with fragrant smells of baking and roasting and shimmering stews, of cider that's mulled, or other hot brews. And there aren't any children at play in the snow, or houses lit up by candles' glow. Have you forgotten, my children, the fun of celebrating the rebirth of the sun? She looked at the fey folk, her eyes going round as they shuffled their feet and stared at the ground. Then she smiled that smile that brings light to the day. Come, my children, let's play. They gathered the mistletoe and gathered the holly, threw off the drab and drew on the jolly. They lit a big bonfire, and they danced and they sang. They brought out the bells, and they clapped when they rang. They strung lights to the trees, and boughs, oh so merry, in colours of cranberry, bayberry, and cherry. They built giant snowmen and adorned them with hats, then surrounded them with snowbirds and snow cats and snow bats. Then just before dawn, at the end of their feast, before they went homeward, seeking out their rest, the fey folk they gathered round their favourite oak tree, and welcomed the sun 'neath the tree's finery. They were just reaching home when it suddenly came. The golden light returned like an arrow-shot flame. It lit on the treetops, where they could see from afar the golden light sphere had turned into a star. The old crone just smiled at the beautiful sight. "Happy Yuletide, my children," she whispered good night.